So with these questions, I'm being asked to set up my trig equation. On the right, I do have a question about what's the difference between these problems, the ratios that we have, and the ones from the past couple lessons. So let's take a look at each one and see what might be the case. So first off, we're going to label our sides just like we always do. We've got our hypotenuse, circle our angle, we've got our opposite, and we've got our adjacent. In this case, there's no hypotenuse, so I know I'm going to use my tangent. And then I'm going to write my equation. Tangent of the angle equals opposite over adjacent. So tangent of x, that looks a little different, equals opposite 15 over my adjacent 12. Okay, that one looked a little different. Let's take a look at the next one. We've got our hypotenuse. Always label that first. We've got our angle. Looks like another x. Okay, we don't have an opposite side, but we do have an adjacent. So when we have our adjacent, our hypotenuse, we're going to use cosine. And again, cosine of our angle, which is x, equals adjacent 20 over hypotenuse, which is 40. And then finally, our last one, label our hypotenuse, another x for an angle. We don't have an adjacent, so we're going to be dealing with sine, opposite over hypotenuse. But because we have x as an angle, okay, we're going to be looking a little bit different than the last couple, okay? So what's different about these problems compared to the ratios of the last few lessons? X is different, okay? In this case, X is an angle. It's not, or X is a variable, okay? It's not a number that's been given to us. So we've got to figure out what that is. So we've got to do some work, all right? Um, what we're doing here is we are solving for the angle instead of the side lengths. And that's what today is going to be all about. This is our third setup. We've talked about what to do with x on top. We've talked about what to do with x on bottom. But in this lesson, we're going to be talking about what to do when x is the angle. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit different than what we have done. It's not that bad. In fact, it can be pretty easy. We've just got to make sure that we take our time and we pay attention, and we should be able to make this work.